You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
All right,
Sweet. Perfect.
Hello, Internet.
Hey, hello.
Welcome to another TADPOG podcast. We're blasting off into the stratosphere this week.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't know why there's so much energy, but I like it.
Well, me too.
like it.
I think it's because we just talked about like maximum length of this episode being 2 hours, and we're like, fuck yeah, I could use this energy without having to store it.
Rally.
I thought that it was the energy from my explanation of what catalytic converters
Now
are.
I know what a catalytic converter is. Thank you.
So I thought you were jazzed about that.
Well, look, I love to learn,
yeah.
and I love to know where I get $13 worth of platinum.
But this week it's going to be the movie and the game, The Rocketeer.
Finally,
Rocketeer.
the long anticipated, the one that we've been putting off
For good reason, it
several
turns out. For very good reason.
Extremely good reason. But before we blast off,
This game sucks real bad. I know we're going to
It's
talk
so
about it
bad.
later, but it is such a bad video game.
Angry Video Game Nerd is on record saying it's probably the worst Super Nintendo game he's ever played.
Spoilers, this is definitely on like my bottom SNES games of all time. This is probably in the lowest.
Absolutely.
Pit
lower
Fighter in the
10.
Sky is
Look,
not on the top.
I've never played Pit Fighter, so I don't have an opinion on that. What's the Sky?
Well, you're in the
the
sky.
last level.
Yeah.
Pit Fighter in the sky.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, robots in the skies.
Pit Fighter in this guy.
All right. Well,
Gotcha.
no more spoilers about the game.
All right.
We'll-
Yeah, I'm just trying to do a record 5-minute episode.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Money, please. No.
Money, please. Patreon.com/TADPOG.
Bye.
What you guys been up to?
Do you want more 5-minute episodes? Pledge on Patreon.
Do you want to? The more pledges we get on Patreon,
The shorter the show gets.
the shorter the show gets.
Hey, tired of
that's-
listening to us for 3 hours a week?
We've been learning how to make money from local car dealerships. You see, less is more.
Thank you, Lord Micah Purdue.
Yeah, I do. Before I get started, have some shout outs. I got a whole lot of feedback and a whole lot of interesting and very informative, helpful conversations from my story about not being able to buy that truck from that local car dealer. And I just want to say thank you so much to Key Item, Nate's Coin, and Cubicle Monkey. You know why?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You know why I'm thanking you. If you know, you know, and I know you do.
Dick pictures.
And it is dick pics. And then
Solicit
also
Nate looks great in nature. So, photographing his dick in the beautiful nature of Utah.
It's camouflage. It's a fun game. You like have to find
In his
it.
calendar, his dick is in every
every one.
picture. You have to find it.
there's a
Not
subreddit.
photoshopped either.
There's a subreddit called Find the Sniper. Have you seen that? It's just people post pictures of their gravel of their driveway and be like, "Find my keys." And it's a good. Find the Sniper is actually a really cool subreddit.
So it's like a good time waster.
It is a good time waster. Some of those are fun. I still can't find most of them. Anyway, also thanks to Micah Purdue. Had a really great conversation with you today. Again, I'm not going to get into what it was exactly about, but thank you so much for talking to me. I felt better after we talked, and thanks to everyone for all of your heartfelt condolences about me not being able to buy that truck. It really meant a lot. It means a lot to me because it really bothered me that I don't like being told no. I don't like being bossed around.
And it bothered you. I knew that it bothered you so much that I was like, I have to include a photograph of that truck in the show art for the episode.
I didn't see the photo. What photo did you use?
One from Blue Book.
Oh,
I think hopefully I got the year and the model correct.
let me look.
But fun fact: if all 13 of our listeners give us $1,000, you can buy this truck.
That's true. If you could give me each, if we could just get 13 $3,000 donations. I want it to be fair. So we each get
I get the truck on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Oh yeah, we can share the truck.
Find somebody to rap. It'll be great.
We'll I just want to paint it like Homer style. It says TADPOG with like a brush, like a paintbrush on the side of the truck. I bet that would get a lot more attention. Let me look. I want to look at the show page, tadpog.com. If you really want a terrible place to listen to the show,
browser, yeah.
That's where the show notes are, and that's cool. But
that I craft for no man,
bro. Except,
hey man, that's like the art too. I feel like it's like okay, I make this and I put it on this site that no one goes to.
Yep.
except for the wheel color.
Yeah,
it's exactly that truck.
All right, cool. I might have done some research and looked at the place that you were going to buy the truck,
which shall remain nameless.
Yes.
Although, I mean, whatever. Okay.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I'm not going to say anymore because I don't want to have to edit the show again.
Ham and cheese on a roll, orange drink. If you know, you know.
I play this little game called Overwatch, and for those of you that care, season 12 just started.
Did the Transformers thing, or is
no?
that,
They did that as a collab last season.
Oh, okay.
So they bring in a cousin Overwatch character that brighten up the show for a little bit. Season 12.
It's funny that you say that. It's probably not too far off from the truth, but the one thing that is they did bring a new character in, a new support character called Juno. I think I might have mentioned her.
Juno.
She's got the nice thick
Booty Dude Juno.
Yeah, booty Dude Juno, and it's a really good support character to play, especially I think for someone who's gonna be like maybe not as comfortable in that role, in a support role. I think Juno is actually not a hard one to learn, and she's got good utility.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does. In game,
Like
come
that
on
dump
now.
truck, right?
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Nope.
I'm already taking up
man.
all the space in there.
Now we're about to get in the
Overwatch
gutter.
was built on mines being in the gutter.
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely, it was. And there's a lot about Juno. I'll get in. Maybe I'll talk to you guys about it off the air. If you want to talk to me about Juno and Overwatch, I'm in Discord, bit.ly/TADPOG Discord. There's a new Clash mode, game mode in Overwatch now. It's like a point capture kind of deal. It's a lot of fun. There's 2 new maps, but this season's collaboration is with Blizzard, with Overwatch's distant cousin, World of Warcraft. They're going to do a World of Warcraft crossover event.
So it's come to this.
Yeah, and I think it's promotional for the new World of Warcraft that just expansion that just dropped.
Yeah,
everything's promotional because in the Transformers, when that happened, that was cross promotional for the new Transformers movie.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Fortnite does this constantly. Yeah,
but there is a World of Warcraft, and I know that one of the skins is Widowmaker, and she's that elf, the one elf that's like representative of, it begins with an A. Her name begins with an A. I can't remember. It'll come to me. But anyway, that's coming. So if you guys are into Overwatch at all, if you haven't figured it out, season 12 is pretty cool. I've had some fun with it so far. If you want to play Overwatch with me, I'm happy to join you, or you can join me, whatever. I play on console, but I am not scared of the PC pool. And finally, I don't have a lot to report on stuff that I watched. I told you I finished Loki. I finished Time Bandits season 1, which is pretty good.
Right.
It was okay. I think it would be a good show for young people. Honestly, it's a fun show. It's not a lot of language or violence, and not adult themed. This is on Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
Additionally, on Apple TV Plus, I started watching a show called Bad Monkey, starring Vince Vaughn. He's a
I saw the thumbnail for that.
okay, yeah, he's a detective in the Florida Keys, and it's a murder mystery kind of thing. It's pretty good. Vince Vaughn has gotten better with age. You know how I feel like he's aged well.
He was good in the last season of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just his timing is just as good as it ever was, but I think he's reached a good spot where he's not as all the time. You know, he's a lot more chill and a lot better delivery, and he's really good in Bad Monkey. So I definitely recommend.
He's really bad in Good Monkey.
He's really bad in Good Monkey, though. Yeah, I don't recommend Good Monkey, but Bad Monkey is actually a really good show. And then finally, I've got one more movie, a movie that I watched. We watched Twisters.
Yeah. I've heard good things about it.
It was a very good movie. I very much enjoyed it. I liked to see it was basically just Twister again with modern graphics and better understanding of how tornadoes work. Just as the science has grown, so has our knowledge, you know. I mean, we know things now that we didn't know.
Well, they released all the balls in the tornado on the first one, so we learned more for the second one.
Tornadoes are stored in the balls.
Exactly. But it was a good movie. It played out a lot. There were a lot of similar, like, actually scenes. It's like scene for scene.
Was there a cow joke?
No cow joke.
Fuck it. I'm out. Seinfeld gif. Standing up.
A lot of the scenes were similar to the ones from the original movie, but it wasn't like a remake of it. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot, and absolutely, especially if you liked Twister, it's a great movie. It's an homage to the first, but it stands just fine on its own, and I definitely recommend it. 4 stars.
Helen Hunt in it?
No, she is not.
I almost asked the same thing if there's a Helen Hunt cameo.
I say I would hope
No
there would be.
cameos in that one, really, that I can
Is
remember.
Deadpool in it?
Yeah, he's in it.
Great.
I mean, he's the main character. It's
He's
just
the tornado.
it's the other Deadpool movie that came out this year.
I wish someone would have told me this earlier.
Well, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. 4 stars. Wisdom Sage says, check it out.
Nice.
That's what I got.
Cool. It's been 2 days since we recorded.
Yeah.
2 full days. I haven't done much of anything other than work. So, and that's not fun to talk about. Been leveling Reaper in Final Fantasy 14. That's new to me.
What is that?
It's a melee DPS class that's really, honestly, it's way more like, look, I haven't played Dark Knight. I've got it unlocked, but that's a tank class in 14.
Can he teleport?
I know.
Why is this?
Well, and even sorry to anybody out there who plays Dark Knight. Look, I'm talking on my ass. I don't know anything about Dark Knight.
Is Paladin not a tank class?
Paladin is. You got Paladin, Warrior, Gunbreaker, which is like Squall from 8.
Fair.
And then Dark Knight. Dark Knight should be a melee DPS class.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be like a caster.
11 got it right.
Like a caster blend. And that's what Reaper is. Reaper uses sides.
Two
Reaper's what Dark
shotguns.
Knight should be.
He uses 2 shotguns that he throws away instead of reloading.
And he says, so like, it's killing time. What does he say?
Yeah, it's something like that. Die.
Yeah.
Teleports, fades. Yeah.
And Reaper does that in this game too. Teleports and doesn't fade really, but
Okay.
I'm only level 74. I don't know what comes, in the next 26 levels. Maybe he gets that. That'd be fucking hilarious.
If it's just Reaper.
Yeah.
If he levels
reach
up and
level
it's just
100,
Reaper
like,
from
congratulations. And then everyone else plays Final Fantasy 14, but you play Overwatch.
Right.
And somehow it translates into the
I'll be playing and then I'll be like, Dave? Yeah, I'm playing Overwatch now because of Final Fantasy. I don't know how it works, but here I am.
Food check. So I don't know. That's been fun. It seems pretty straightforward. Hopefully it stays straightforward because I've got Samurai to 100, which is another melee DPS.
Okay.
That one is fun. I think Samurai's fun, but it's not super straightforward. Especially when I get to level 100 and I was like, oh, this is fun. It was fun relearning Samurai.
What kind of abilities does it have? It's like a tactic samurai or an 11 samurai. or something entirely different?
I didn't really play 11 Samurai, so I don't really know.
It was all about chaining TP skills for magic bursts. And
it's
skill chains and shit.
completely different. TP used to be a thing in 14, and then at some point between me playing and not playing, like during a long break, they got rid of it.
Okay.
So melee DPS, physical DPS doesn't have to deal with TP anymore.
Okay.
Which is like, it's good and bad. It's good because it was definitely like frustrating to manage TP, but it was one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, so now this is like much more like World of Warcraft, which is fine. I played WoW for a long time. I liked WoW, but it just was one of those things where it was like, okay, you're just making this Final Fantasy 14 more like a traditional the big MMO.
Yeah.
So yeah, Samurai is just it's chaining different weapon skills and abilities essentially.
Okay.
It's fun. But yeah, it's when I got to level 100 on Samurai, I was like, fuck man, this is fun. It's like maybe this will be like because I still play Warrior and that's what I tend to like do EX trials and raids and whatever with. But I was like, it'd be nice to have like a flex character, like a flex job, where it's like if someone else wants to tank, I can be like, oh cool, I'll just do physical DPS. And so I look up, there's several sites that will show you like the ideal rotation and opener for each job. And I was looking at Samurai, I was like, fuck man, they have 2 different ones depending on like your gear. And it's like, all right, maybe I don't want to like parse all of this. Maybe I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. So long story short, I'll probably just fucking wing it if I play Samurai, which is not optimal, which is a problem in video games. I don't know if you guys know this or not.
I do it all the time. I think it's great.
But in social video games, if you don't do something optimally, it's a big fucking problem.
Oh yeah.
I disagree. I don't think that's true at all.
The time I went into a raid with red mage instead of white mage as my black mage subclass, and oh man.
Yeah. So I don't know. The people I roll with, it's really not a big deal, but like in like pickup groups and stuff, it's you hear about it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Reaper, it's fun. It's kind of like Dark Knight. It's almost as if they were like, oh shit, we made Dark Knight to take class, and then
From out of the shadows.
That's Dark Knight from Overwatch, right?
Yeah. Also known as Reaper.
I didn't finish my whole thing on Dark Knight, where it's like, it's a joke. There's like a joke in the community currently where it's like there are 3 tanks, Warrior, Gunbreaker, and Paladin, because Dark Knight is like being slammed right now for being like a trash tank.
Yeah. It should be. So yeah.
So yeah. But I don't know. Cool. It looks cool. Aesthetic is neat.
So I can't imagine how they look. If Dark Knights look like Dark Knights, Reapers
Yeah, Reapers
look like Grim Reapers, like
pretty
robes
much.
and shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's not what all the gear looks like, but that's what you start out in. Like your starting gear is like straight up, like here's fucking like tattered gray robes. And I'm like, it's a little on the nose, isn't it? And they're like, nah, dog, don't worry, you're gonna summon demons. Okay.
I mean, Reaper in Overwatch wears dark robes
Right.
too and
Yeah.
big heavy boots. There's actually one point where Reaper says, I've got to get quieter boots.
That's it for me, man. And I haven't really even been doing much of that. That's just it.
I had a bracing thing at work where it was just like,
shit.
oh, fun. Because the other day, it's like 8:30 at night. I'm cleaning up after dinner, and I get a huge wall of text from a random number on my phone, and it's somebody from the hospital who got my phone number from somebody from another department, saying like, "Hey,
that should be illegal."
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
Yeah, that should be illegal.
I got an office. You can just come to my office during work hours and not text me at 9:30 from an unknown number.
If someone's like, "Hey, I got your number from someone else," oh, I'm suing you and that person.
That's defamation. But a big story about like my hours getting cut. I heard you were good to work for.
Oh my god!
But I can't. But
This is from someone who wanted a job.
Yeah.
Texting you at home.
Yep. So, but I can't work Thursdays. But I love to come work for you.
That's
I
always
can't work Thursdays.
great.
Seinfeld's on.
That's
And
always the best way to fucking introduce yourself to someone that you want to work for.
That you're
by
texting.
getting their personal phone number and then telling them, I'm really, really hard worker and I absolutely want to work for you. I just can't work Thursday. Cool. We're cool there, right?
Yep.
I didn't know it was like someone who was looking for work. That should be illegal. Like, I feel like someone should not be able to be like, yeah, let me look up his home phone number. Okay, here it is.
Well, because another worker had told me like, oh yeah, this, and told me about this person like a month ago,
Yeah.
and I told him like, if they can't work a certain day, I can't do it.
Especially Thursday.
It's like this person gets special treatment. They don't have to work on. I can't do that.
Right.
Tell them I can't do that. Didn't hear anything, and then now they're reaching out directly. So I just like call.
It's must see TV.
I still live in the 90s, and on Thursdays I transport back to 1990.
It's must-
But I don't watch
See?
Cosby. I don't watch Cosby.
Not because of the scandal thing. I just don't like his furniture in his house.
Those sweaters are weird.
So I just hit call, and I was like, they answered, and I was like, it'd be a lot easier than just to talk. So like, how about you just come to my office tomorrow? The guy's like, okay, great, because they keep hiring like all these 20-year-olds. My hours are getting cut. And I was like, well, if you can't work a certain day, I can't bring you on full time.
And you're like,
I can
maybe
give
it's
you a
not that you're
few-
not a 20-year-old. Maybe it's because you're texting people at 8:30 about a job.
And are they telling them what you can't do?
Yeah, it's like
You're end arounding, like you're trying to work an angle. I mean, I admire your persistence, and I guess that's probably a good quality in a work environment.
Maybe.
But you fucking kind of snuck around and got my number.
shit.
But I was
man.
like, I could give you some relief shifts to bring you up to like the 40 hours you're looking for.
I would take it.
We can do that, and I don't schedule on Thursdays. I have shifts like that that you don't get benefits, you don't get PTO, but you get to say, I can't work these days. Okay, cool. You don't have to work that day. You don't get any benefits or paid time off though. Cool. Okay, cool. You're relief. So he's like, all right, I'll be. What time do you want me to come to your office tomorrow? It's like, all right, 10:15. He's like, okay, I'll be there. So
Then he met me at the courthouse to sign over a fucking truck title. That's why he wasn't there, Tyler.
early the next morning, I went over to the department he's from and walked in to talk to their director. And I was like, hey, I got a call.
Hey, where's the guy who doesn't respect personal boundaries? Is he here?
Where's the one who thinks he's special?
Well, as soon as I said, hey, I got a text from, I said their name, the director and all her supervisors immediately burst and just started laughing.
Oh, no.
And she's like, okay, please tell me whatever it is this person said to you. So I told them, and they were all just like, you can have him. You can have him. And I was like,
God.
Lord, what's wrong? He's like, does he know that you do 12-hour shifts? I was like, oh, I don't know. It's like, because I can't get him to do like 6. So whatever you want to do,
He just wants to do
go
on
for it.
Thursdays, though. It's weird.
So I did, and then come about 10:10, he texts me saying he has a flat tire and he won't be there. And I was like, okay, I get it. You know we work 12s, right? I think I heard something like that. So you can do 12s? Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll see you whenever your tire's fixed. I have not seen this person. I have not heard back from him.
He's probably just still getting his tire fixed.
But I
It's
love when I
fine.
walk into their department and mention someone's name and everyone starts laughing.
That's an interesting personality. It's like a mix of things. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it would be a lot easier to be like, 12s? Oh, no, I didn't know that. All right, no thanks.
Well, see, a lot of people, it sounds intimidating because I used to do like 8s and 4s for everybody. And then we switched to 12, so everyone only works 3.5 days a week.
Oh, 3.5.
yeah,
That's
and
nice.
then they're off every other Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we always split Tuesday 6 and 6. And that's just how we roll.
It's awesome.
Everyone was like, at one point we did it, and everybody was like, oh, we're all so tired. We want to try
Sure.
going back. I was like, okay.
Take your 3 days
We'll
off
try.
and let's see.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the 8s and 4s. You're all going to be here 5 days a week. It lasted about a month before it was like, we really want to go back to the 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I would love to be. I mean, I'm salary now, so it doesn't matter. But I would love to be able to work 410s.
Yeah.
I'd do 410s just to have a third day off on the weekend or whatever. But yeah, man, that's awesome. 12-hour shift is a hard shift, but you get used to it, and the payoff of having 3 days off is nice.
And the dinner shift is like always been more low key and slow anyway. Because breakfast is go, get there, get them fed. Lunch is the biggest meal of the day. And then dinner is just people
Kinda
are already
winding down.
discharged or winding
Yeah.
down. It's way more casual. Those last 4 hours are honestly the easiest part. So, but other than that, that's all I've done. You guys want to do a no homo jerkability?
Hell yeah. Of course, I was thinking about this earlier today. I really was. I was like, man, I gotta be ready to tell Tyler what men I would jerk off to and what order I would do it in.
Okay, so no homo jerkability. Get our mind in the gutter. Gutter being
It's always there, baby.
assholes. So it'll be the
cum
version
gutter.
the version of them you find most attractive. So giving them the best leg up.
Okay. I need a paper, unfortunately. Do we have one?
Just the back of that.
Okay.
And you go get
you.
some more index
This is
cards.
a
and
Shoney's
shit.
menu. Where'd you get this?
All right. 10-spot draft. No homo jerkability. Number 1. Jensen Ackles.
I gotta look this guy up.
It's one of the dudes from Supernatural.
Oh, okay. Which one?
The one that wasn't in
The-
Gilmore
the
Girls.
one that was
But
in
the one that is in The Boys.
The Boys, yeah, he plays the
Soldier Boy
Soldier
in The Boys.
Boy in The Boys.
Oh, I mean, just by being named Soldier Boy, he goes up at least one spot on my list.
I think he's the voice of one of the animated Batman.
Okay.
Batmen.
Okay, and you said the hottest version.
The hottest version
Would it-
to you.
right?
Yep.
4.
4.
And probably
Jensen Ackles
Supernatural.
is a good looking dude.
That's where I know him from the most. So 4 for Jensen.
Okay, yeah, it's 4 for me as well. I gotta save the top. He's not top 3 material.
Getting this one out of the way early. This is the kind of that everyone's usually go to. Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is really fucking high for me.
There's somebody who should not be mentioned that talked about that dude all the fucking time.
Oh yeah,
You know what his body fat is?
I'm surprised I
Yes,
don't
you
remember what it
told
is.
me.
He told me so many times what Ryan Reynolds' body fat percentage
Yeah,
was.
all the time. But dude, I'm not gay, I promise. Okay,
It's
either way,
okay.
man, it's fine.
Yeah, right.
It's fine. We just
In
want
fact,
you to be you.
You bringing it up every time makes me wonder.
I'm gonna put him at a 2, and only
good choice.
because I like to leave my number 1 slot open, even if it ends up biting me in the ass later. I reserve the right to say Ryan Reynolds would have been my number 1, but I will accept whatever the draft
Draft gods.
steer me towards. Number 2 for Ryan Reynolds.
That's 1 for me. It was gonna be 2, but then our list would be identical. And I'm also, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, I could
Maybe
like,
we just have the same taste in men. That's okay.
we probably do.
We
Yeah.
probably do.
You both fucked me.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, we were all together. We were all together. There was a lot of drinking. You know.
I was sober.
Well, that doesn't mean there wasn't a lot of drinking.
I didn't say alcohol.
Yeah, it's a 1 because that's also
That's
like
not a solid choice
that's
for one.
not just a physical jerkability. That's also like an emotional jerkability. That's a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems like a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
Although I'm finding out things about Blake Lively that
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Very Mean Girls.
yeah,
Yes.
she's kind of a cunt from what I understand.
What'd she do?
Well, she went on like there was this
A lot of interviews and stuff are
period piece
surfacing
that
about
she
her where
did
she was.
where that was out. I think it was like last year, and it was while she was pregnant with their second child, and she went on this press tour. And in one interview, it's out there. It just sort of came out. It's been making the rounds on like Reddit and TikTok and stuff lately for some reason. Probably because she just had another new movie come out. But
That
the
it's
interviewer,
like, her and Ryan Reynolds have the #1 and #2 movie right now.
Yeah.
Which hasn't happened since Ghost and Die Hard or something
Yeah.
like that. Like,
well, and the thing too is apparently I have the new Blake Lively movie is called It Ends With Us, and I do believe it's about domestic violence, but I think a lot of people are criticizing the way it approaches the subject and that it's almost like glamorizing some of the negatives. So I don't know. I can't speak to that.
The male lead in the movie is very much like, please outreach, please find support.
Yeah.
Blake Lively's like, here's my skincare line.
Yeah.
I'm getting attention.
Well, and then one interview she was in, she was sitting with Parker Posey when they
love
were talking
Parker.
to
Yeah,
in an
she's great.
interview.
Is she on this
Parker
list?
Posey apparently is an asshole too.
Really?
It was like watching Regina George and
Yeah,
one of the other
because
mean girls like talk to somebody.
Parker Posey apparently, allegedly acting that way. Weirdly doesn't surprise me. Also, I don't care.
yeah,
It almost like makes her more hot.
yeah, and I could see that.
Blake Lively on the head, it's like, no. But Parker Posey,
You're already too conventionally attractive.
right.
To get
Parker
away with
Posey's
it.
like, okay,
So
all right.
apparently the movie they were doing at that time was some sort of historical period piece kind of thing, and there was a whole lot of talk about like the costumes and stuff like that in the movie. And if I'm not mistaken, the interview that they were doing, the interviewer was actually like in like a fashion magazine or a fashion in movies like organization, and like that was her thing. And so first of all, she like congratulates Blake on her baby bump because she was 6 months pregnant, and then so Blake just kind of rips into her about that.
Oh, I guess you're in a baby too because you have a bump. Like immediately.
Whoa.
Yeah, like and then
But not like that, but like a very passive aggressive.
Is it sexist if I go?
girls.
Oh fuck it! I feel like it's
fuck it.
warranted.
It's fine. This is our show. We can do that if we want.
Okay.
And then she's like, "All right, well, we'll switch gears, and I was going to talk to you about like the fashions in the movie and the costumes. How did those dresses make you feel when you were, seeing them being put together and putting them on?" And they're like, so she turns to Parker Posey and is like, it ignores the interviewer and just starts having a conversation with Posey,
Really
saying
weird.
like, why doesn't anybody ever ask about the men's clothing in movies? Why are they always talking about the dresses and the da-da-da-da-da?
We're not talking about you, though. We're not talking about you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and then Parker jumps in and they just keep like having a conversation among themselves. And from time to time, the camera will cut back to the interviewer who is just sitting there wishing she was anywhere but in this fucking interview. They were fucking mean to her.
It sounds like
they
it.
were being
I want to look it
assholes.
up.
And apparently,
It's cringe as fuck. I mean,
It sounds
it's
like
mean,
it.
and I hate that because
Because what was she on the OC or Gossip Girl? It was Gossip Girl.
Maybe,
But,
yeah.
Leighton Meester came out against her a long time ago and saying, like, you guys, Blake Lively is a shitty person.
I got to be honest with you guys. If you showed me a picture of her, I don't think I'd be able to be like, that's Blake Lively. But if you showed me a picture and told me it was her, I'd believe you.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's about what I thought
The
she looked
Deadpool
like.
with the ponytail. Yeah.
Right. I don't know what she looks like.
Well, and apparently she's kind of like, rules their family with an iron fist. I mean, I think like Ryan is kind of
He gets hit.
beholden to her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. They seem fine, and Tiny loves Blake Lively, and I've seen several of her movies, and I like her movies. I think she's a good actress, but it's apparently she's just kind of a.
I think Ryan Reynolds could do better. I just looked her up.
Oh, he could do better.
Yeah.
Well, he's divorced from Scarlett Johansson. So
I don't know if he can do better than that.
I don't think so. I mean, he was with Alanis Morissette for a long time, which isn't a bad thing.
She's gone.
That's what that song's about. You ought to know.
Yeah?
That's
I
about
thought it was-
Ryan Reynolds. That was like written about him. Like it's
Oh,
his
there's one's about Dave Coulier.
Right.
Which one is about Dave Coulier?
That's what I thought. I thought it was about Dave Coulier.
The one.
see,
going
I've
down
always
on you
been
in a
told-
movie theater is
Right.
Dave Coulier. 'cause
Maybe
she
it's a
sucked his
bunch
dick
of
in a movie
people.
theater.
It might
He could-
be a bunch of
How many
people.
dicks did you suck at the movie theater last
Try
night?
not to suck any dick on your way to the movie theater.
No judgment, but I mean,
No,
Yeah,
go
no,
you.
no.
But if you want to see
I
Deadpool
applaud
3,
it.
I'm down.
I applaud it. That's your thing.
Yeah, I'm not. No, absolutely no judgment.
But what
Go
was
for
it like?
Suck all the dick.
Dave
you want, I
Coulier's
don't
like
care.
34 and she's 18 when that happened
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
not cool.
So
Yeah, that's uncomfortable. All right. Anyway,
Ryan Reynolds, number two.
Reynolds,
Ryan Reynolds, number one for me.
Another man on a top on most all sexiest men alive lists, Henry Cavill.
Dude, I knew Henry Cavill. And when I was putting Ryan Reynolds at number one, I was thinking about Henry Cavill. I don't think I'd have the same emotional. There's not the same emotional jerkability with Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's a good-looking dude.
He just want to play Warhammer. That's it.
See, I think I would. I think I would have an emotional connection with him because I think we would get along really well. I feel like we've got similar personalities just because he's such a gamer and he's pretty down to earth as far as movie star kind of guys go. And I've seen a lot of interviews with. He was on Graham Norton. His interviews on Graham. If you've not ever watched the Graham
gotta love
Norton
Graham
show,
Norton. Fuck, I love Graham
fucking
Norton.
hell, I love that fucking show.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I used to watch it religiously. Henry Cavill's a good dude, but you are not kidding. He is good fucking looking.
He's a great Superman. That
Yeah, he
scene where
was
he's
a
fucking
great
chopping that
Superman.
wood, it's like, holy shit, man. Fuck.
I'm
dude.
gonna do number 3 for Henry Cavill for sure.
3.
That's easy.
I thought he might be higher on your list after all that.
We're only 3 in. I'm still holding out for number 1.
I'm holding on. I don't know. I want to hold us. I think there might be some Chris's on this list I'm keeping open. I want to keep some spots open, but Henry Cavill, like, he was really a contender for, like, when I was thinking top 3, I was like,
I
Henry
get it.
Cavill's probably in top 3.
I get it.
Would you put him at? I can't put him at
3.
Damn it.
Right under
Fuck,
Ryan.
I want to put him at 3.
Put him at 3. We have the same taste in men. It's fine.
All right.
I have the same taste in women as John, and we never argue about that.
Yeah, but you're not itemizing it.
I bet if John and
Well,
I
next
did,
time John comes in,
Yeah.
we're doing a ginger draft.
I bet if John
Fuck
and I
yeah.
did,
Hell yeah.
can we put all of them at number 1?
Let's call John now.
That's what he's going to want to do. You're going to break John with a ginger draft. But he and I will
I
have
didn't
the
have to
same
stop
answers.
asking him to send me pornography of ginger girls.
All 10 are Reba McEntire.
Reba as the Colonel. Reba in Fancy.
Reba in Tremors.
Reba in Reba.
What's your favorite Reba squared, baby?
Man, that's actually a pretty damn good idea for a draft.
What's your favorite
Just a
Reba?
Reba draft.
You'd be easy.
Melissa might do that one.
All right.
Reba on The Voice. Reba in Tremors. Reba in Concert in 1987.
All right, the next one, one who's on every girl that I live with in my house right now, all have this man at the top of all their lists, Robert Pattinson.
Oh, I'm okay with putting him.
He got points for me with his Studio Ghibli movie,
Yeah.
where instead of just like acting like every other actor in one and using their own voice, like he went all out for a unique voice for the Heron.
I thought you were like, because I didn't have to look at him.
And I loved it. The Batman is my favorite
Yeah.
Batman.
It is my second favorite Batman behind Batman. Batman Returns, then the Batman. That's for me. And then comes the Dark Knight movies. I'll put Robert Pattinson at a 6.
Keeping it at a 6.
Mainly, I'm not necessarily attracted to him, but I really liked him in the Batman. So that leveled him up for me a little bit.
So like a respectful
A
stroke.
number, just south of the middle.
Okay. That's a 9 for me. He doesn't really
Doesn't do it
anything.
for you.
I like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just not that's not there.
Would you have Maddie in?
6.
6. All right. To go with Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman.
I like Hugh Jackman. I like Hugh Jackman. I like him in interviews a lot. Like seeing him and Ryan doing like the press circuit.
They did Hot Ones.
Yeah.
I didn't
And that was
see
great.
it. I haven't seen that. John keeps telling me to watch it, and I keep forgetting.
It's good.
The new executive chef who took over for Casey at my work is a very skinny Hugh Jackman. It's crazy how much they look alike.
Could he have been one of the
variants.
alternates?
Yeah.
I love the little tiny short one. When he hops off the bar stool,
Comic
he's like
accurate
4 feet
Wolverine.
tall.
Yep.
I'll put Hugh Jackman at 5. I'm probably gonna regret. I could put him higher, but I don't think he's a number 1 for me. So 5. Hugh Jackman is at 5.
6 for me.
6.
Yep.
And it would be like modern day, this Deadpool movie, Hugh Jackman. For
That's
me,
the
'cause
one you
I think
would
he
choose.
looks best right now.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
great.
Or The Greatest Showman.
He is great and great. Yeah.
He was
Phenomenal.
looked
I was
real
a great
good in
Greatest
that.
Showman. He was phenomenal in Greatest Showman.
Yeah. Prestige was a good movie.
Yeah, I like The Prestige.
That's the one, right? He was in. There was 2 magic movies.
There's The Illusionist and there's The
The
Prestige.
Prestige is the one he was in. Yeah.
Because I think those movies came out like within a month of
Yeah,
each
one of those
other or
speaking of
something.
movies.
Speaking of Batman, Christian Bale was in that with him. So.
Yep.
Good movie. 4 stars when it
And
says
the
check
man
out.
who stars in a movie we're going to be watching pretty soon, Idris Elba.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I got to put him high, otherwise I'm clearly racist.
Yeah.
Well, I could legit. I'm going to put him at number 1. I could
I
actually
think
put
Idris
Idris at
Elba
number
is-
1 because he's a good
Was I
looking
doing
dude.
this list, he would also be very high.
And I love his work. I love his work in the Marvel universe as the gatekeeper in Asgard. What's his fucking name in that movie? I can't remember.
I know. I know the Norse god of the gateway. Yeah.
It'll come to me. I'll blurt it out later. But I do love Idris Elba, and he's a good-looking dude. Idris is my number 1, and I'm not ashamed to say it. That he belongs there in this list so far. Yeah, number 1.
7 for me.
7.
Yeah, I like him. I just don't. I don't know. I think he seems like he's someone that I would want to hang out with, but not necessarily masturbate to.
Those are not one and the same for you.
They're not. Because then I'm like, well, fuck, I put Hugh Jackman at 6, and I would definitely masturbate to Hugh Jackman before him. So
There you
I
go.
guess I'll put him right
Yeah.
below.
That's fair.
All right, see, we don't have the exact same taste in man.
It's true.
So the next one, whenever we're watching a movie, attractive man comes on the screen, I'll ask Melissa, you think he's attractive? Most every time she's always like, no, too skinny, nah.
It's Ted Baxter, of course.
She would probably, she'd probably be like, yeah, okay. But this man, when I said that, she would, yeah, that's my man. I was like,
Hell
oh,
yeah.
really? Okay. If I ever said that about a female, you would tear my fucking eyes out. But again, one of my favorite actors, Christopher Maloney.
Oh,
Okay.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. I
He's
think
got a
Nikki would
certain je
answer
ne
the
sais
same
quoi.
way.
I get it.
Doesn't do enough comedies. The
Yeah,
man
yeah.
is
No,
such an
he's great.
amazing comedian.
Yeah, he's great.
I'm going to put him at 8.
I'm going to go rub butter all over my ass. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I like him. That's probably an 8 for me, though. I mean, he'd be up there for Nikki for sure. So she and Melissa would,
They could have their
on that
three-way with
same,
Christopher Maloney.
yeah, man. I don't know how I feel about that. A lot of mixed emotions.
Where'd you put him in?
8.
8. All right, the next one. I feel like he is one there's 3 people in particular that I specified the version of him you find most attractive.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've seen the biggest disparity in attractiveness with this actor.
Weird
Well,
Al
one of the
Yankovic.
biggest. No.
No.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Is that from Venture Brothers?
who is Negan,
He's Negan
in
in
Walking Dead.
He's also in The Boys this latest season.
He was, we're where I thought his most unattractive in season 2 of Grey's Anatomy. But I do think as Negan, he's a very attractive man.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. There's just so many more attractive men on this list for me. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, I got a 2, a 5, and a 10. You know, he's going on 10 for me.
Me too, and it's just because I like the guy and I think he does good work, but he just doesn't do it for me.
Didn't do it for you.
Masturbatorially speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times when I, with the exception of Jensen, when I have to be like, who is that? They're probably going to be near the bottom for me.
Yeah. The next one, this is the one where I mean the version you find the most, because this swings the wildest.
Chris Farley.
ends up more like Chris Farley. Marlon Brando. So young Marlon Brando is one of the most attractive men I've ever seen in my life. Streetcar Named Desire, Marlon Brando is like, the first time I saw that, I was like, God damn, okay. As opposed to like Godfather Marlon Brando.
I'd have to put him at a 9 because he's just one of those that just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, same. I don't
in
even
any form. I mean, I can acknowledge that yes, that is an attractive man.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm not into him.
I'm not either.
He's no Idris Elba.
No. Which sucks that I have to put him in 5. I'd rather have him not 5.
Much higher
Lower.
than 5. Lower or higher,
Lower, yeah.
however you interpret the list.
So last, a very classic 90s and beyond choice,
Okay.
Brad Pitt.
Okay. He ends up in my 2.
Brad,
I'm fine with that.
Brad would have gone above Jensen Ackles on my list if I had a spot. He's good
Because like
looking.
Brad Pitt in
Current Brad Pitt, like once
older
upon
Brad
a
Pitt
time in
looks
Hollywood, Brad
attractive.
Pitt.
The older I get, the more I like Brad Pitt. And I don't
too.
know if that's because I'm getting older or he's getting older or we're getting older at the
A
same
little
time.
bit of both. A little bit of
It's
both.
nice.
And he's
looking
fantastic in
Bullet
Once
Train,
Upon a
Brad
Time
Pitt.
in
Bullet Train's
Hollywood.
amazing.
Bullet
Bullet
Train,
Train, yeah.
fucking great.
But
He's-
also in what's the movie with Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon, where he gets his debut,
Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, he's like 18 in that movie.
Yeah.
He was in another movie when he was a kid that you don't hear much of. I can't remember the name of it. You don't hear much about it, but he had a small role in another, like an 80s movie. But yeah, Brad unfortunately lands in my number 7, but he would be higher on the list if I had a spot up there for him. So, all right.
Yeah, that's good.
Good list. Good draft.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah. All right. So the Rocketeer,
Yeah,
The
man. Now I'm all
Rocketeer.
worked up.
all bricked up.
Hell yeah. I'm Red Rocket. New achievement. Let me type that in real quick.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a TADPOG totals list for the
Oh,
Rocketeer.
damn it. I was looking
movie,
forward to this one.
this movie warrants a
I
TADPOG
know.
totals
That's
list.
why I was looking forward to it. I even said it to Nikki when we were watching it. I was like, I can't wait to hear what Ian's totals are gonna
I
be.
think I felt differently about this movie than you guys did.
Well,
Yeah.
I honestly had no time. I just kept not being able to watch the movie, and I finally had to watch it today.
I watched
and
it
I
today,
finished it about 20 minutes before I left to come here.
Jeez. Yeah.
But
You
I
were
didn't.
kinda
I was
close.
very busy at work and trying to watch the movie and trying to watch some gameplay, and didn't have time to really sit and think about the list. I started to do it, and then I was like, I can't focus enough on this to make a good list. So, sadly, as much as this movie deserves a TADPOG totals list, I did not have one. I have some facts. I have some trivia. I have some things we can just go over.
Okay.
First and foremost, I'll just get this out of the way. I liked this movie.
okay. So
I had
did
a good time watching this movie.
So did I.
It wasn't a great movie, but I didn't think it was that. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I thought it was okay. It was fun. It was a fun Disney movie, and I can see how a lot of people might have very much enjoyed it. Alan Arkin is in it, who's one of
Yeah.
my all-time
Alan Arkin,
favorite
yeah.
actors. He's in Grosse Point Blank as Martin Blank's psychiatrist, and he's famous for saying, "That's not nice. That wasn't designed to make me feel good." I love that. John will be laughing right now. Nobody else will. Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah, I was shocked to see Locke in it.
Locke from Lost played Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes.
And, of course,
The hero of the movie.
Who designed the plane that got him on the island.
Exactly. I got, and finally, Timothy Dalton, one of my all-time favorite actors. If he was on that list, I'd have had to make a place
You
for
snatched him up.
Snatched him right up. He played James Bond once or twice, actually.
I bet this movie
And
made his back hurt
probably
because he carried the
fucking movie.
upon
And
his back.
he also played Prince Baron in Flash Gordon, and he also carried that movie on his back as well. The Rocketeer is based on a comic that was written in 1982, which was to pay homage to the sort of serial movie stars of the 30s and 40s, where they'd have those weekly movies.
Yeah.
Before they had like TV. You know,
Yeah.
You'd go to the theater and watch these cliffhanger movies for a dime.
Enjoy
and
some
then-
air conditioned room.
Yes, get in and sit in the AC. No, they did.
Okay, good.
They'd sit in the AC and watch a serial movie, and then next week they'd leave you on a cliffhanger every week and you go back. So there's that. And then one thing I had noted here is there's a villain named Lothar.
Of the Hill People?
Not of the Hill People.
Hey, achievements.
that I think was left over from the casting calls for Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Because this
He
guy
looks-
had a big old plastic face.
Yeah, it's major prosthetics going on.
Big old plastic face.
Yeah.
He's the thing is, it was like he was the only one in the movie that had that.
Right.
Unlike in Dick Tracy, where everyone had that
Right.
except for Dick Tracy.
If they were a villain, they looked like that.
Yeah.
And then I've got a little bit of trivia. Let's see here. So the little plane at the beginning, the GB,
Yeah. Also in the game.
kind of a lot in the game.
Yeah.
The actual GB used in filming was only allowed to land a very limited amount of times during its time working on the movie, as landings are extremely hard on the landing gear of this particular plane. That GB Racer was named the Widowmaker and the Flying Coffin because it is incredibly difficult to fly and was prone to crashing.
Fun.
Because of its speed and maneuverability, some pilots still raced it despite the danger. And then Billy Campbell, who was the star, who played the John Secord or whatever his name was, the Rocketeer.
John Redcorn.
Yeah. Once studied commercial art. He made sure to read the Dave Stevens graphic novel on which the film was based. And he got the part after getting the haircut to make him look identical to the character in the graphic novel.
Okay.
So he got his shit together and made himself look the part before he went and did the audition.
Can you act? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Got the
matter. You got
haircut.
the part, and it's not gonna matter at the end of the day. That's really all the trivia I've got. So there's a goof I thought was funny. At the end of the movie, when the Nazi agent is yelling at Sinclair, he shouts, "Ich habe meine Bestellung und du auch." I have my order and so do you. The German word for a military order is Befehl. Bestellung is the order you give to a waiter.
Oh, shit. Shit.
That's it. That's all I got, really, just as far as like little bits and pieces talking about the movie itself. Again, I kind of liked it. I had a good time watching it. I think it's because I had a low bar set and it sort of exceeded my expectations. So I had a good time.
I wanted to like it. I didn't know. It had Jennifer Connelly in it.
That's nice.
That's nice.
That's always nice.
That's nice. And honestly, there were so many times when I was watching it where I was like, it was Poochie. It was like when Jennifer Connelly wasn't on the screen, I was like, where's Jennifer Connelly?
Because she fits that role of that
Yep.
era of woman. She wears that so fucking well.
totally.
That World War II era, 1950s
She looks
LA.
like a World War II pinup. Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Yep. I really fucking loved it. 1940s, 1950s, kind of stuff. That's one of the things I liked about the movie was the setting.
Yeah.
Is the setting in LA in the 40s.
It was so, the
costuming.
pulpiness was done very well.
And it was subtle. It wasn't like over the top like Dick Tracy's, was.
Yeah.
It was subtle and it felt good and it felt like a really well established atmosphere that didn't have to try too hard. Except, holy Lord, the size of that blimp. How did they not see that gigantic Nazi blimp
Of which I think there
flying
were only,
over Los Angeles?
4 blimps in the world.
Yeah. That
And the
thing was
slowest moving hydrogen, because it blows up in slow, outrunnable sections.
Hey, let's let the audience know this is filled with hydrogen. Do you think they got it? Let's tell them a second time. It was one of those where it's like, I get this is a PG movie, so it's like it's for kids. That's the category that I put it in, where it's like it's for kids.
Yep.
Weird that there's a tit joke in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did love W.C. Fields.
Oh my God, I
movie.
know. Yeah, my little chickadee.
I question really, because I feel like it's a kid's movie, but I still question how much kids would get it and appreciate it. I know Melissa saw this when she was little and fucking loved it.
Yeah.
But I know she's an old soul that her whole life has appreciated things like that.
Yeah.
Me at that age, I've just been like, show me the rocket. And I wouldn't have appreciated all the other
The nuance
to
stuff.
it,
Yeah. Mhm.
So I felt maybe it was a good balance between like an older person taking their grandchild to see a movie. And
oh
they could
yeah,
appreciate it.
I say a kids movie, but really what I should have said is an all ages movie.
family movie.
Family movie.
Yeah, it was a family movie for sure.
I thought that it, to me, felt like a TV movie.
The effects did not age well.
Yeah.
Like in any way, shape, or
I
form.
also thought the script was pretty bad. It felt like a lot of it was like, I don't know who wrote it, but like it feels like they were like, when does this take place? And they were like, okay, people definitely talked like this right then, didn't they? You know what I mean? It's very much
Should
like,
they all have a transatlantic accent?
Right.
Well, probably.
They really leaned into that heavy at the beginning of the movie, especially when the FBI agent showed
Yes.
up and said, "Hey, you get over here without your shenanigans.
Why
and come
I
over
oughta."
order."
Yeah.
That
part
was
did-
a little
that,
thick.
and that felt cheap. But it felt like, let's get an old car and push it through the woods.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
behind my house.
Cheap is a good. This felt like a cheap movie to me. That doesn't always mean I'm not going to enjoy it. There are plenty of cheap movies that I do enjoy, but they were just. I don't have a big grievance with The Rocketeer. It was just there were so many little things about
Sure.
it that I didn't like that added up to where it's like, I don't think it's a horrible movie. I also didn't really enjoy it. It was one of those where I was super grateful that Nikki watched it with me,
Yeah.
because if it was just me alone, I truly think it would have been like a watch looker where
Yeah.
it's like, how much time I got left on this?
Yeah.
When are that? I thought there were Nazis in this movie. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
they didn't get to the Nazis until like almost
The
2/3 of the
end.
way through the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. I understand.
Because for most of the film, I felt like, okay, is Timothy Dalton? I get he's the bad guy. Are they drawing a parallel to Errol Flynn? What a piece of shit he was. So what is the
Maybe.
comparison we're making here? Because he's the swordsman. I was
Right.
expecting like a big sword fight later on. I was expecting a payoff
On
like,
top of the
that
blimp.
sword was the Chekhov's gun. I would see later on
Sure,
like,
sure.
a cool sword fight that never fucking happened.
One thing I would have included in a TADPOG totals list if I had been able to do one was 2 exploding gas trucks.
Yeah, I know.
Every time there was an air show,
The
a
second
plane would
time I
crash
looked at
into the
Nikki and
gas
I was
truck.
like, you think he would learn to not park his gas truck there? I also another laugh
Who is
out
gonna spit bullets over that another car?
another laugh out loud moment I had was near the end where like it's revealed that this is all like a Nazi plot, and then what's his name, the movie star, Neville, calls for his men, and then like these German like Nazi soldiers just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
It was like Wayne Campbell when he opens the doors to ninjas training.
yeah, it was. Or it reminded me of the beginning of F Troop, where it's just like it's a wide shot. Like, here are soldiers from another movie. And so they so that I laughed out loud at, and then.
That part was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Is it when the gangsters and the FBI they team up together to fight the
and the fucking FBI
We
are
might disagree,
fighting,
but we know we're Americans.
we're fighting the Nazis. I was fucking rolling at that.
my
I thought that was
God.
great. I mean, it was silly.
I
but
thought
it was great.
See, it's one of those where it's like I honestly feel like it would be. To me, I would love it if I knew that if I had confidence that the movie was like, this is ridiculous, right? We all know this is ridiculous. We're just doing it because it's fun.
A crime boss and the FBI working together.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you who wins. America wins.
And
Freedom wins.
The gangster literally says, like, I may not make an honest buck, but
I'm 100%
100% American. And then, like, he and the FBI guy, there's a point where they're shooting Nazis and they look at each other and they're like, they nod. They do that. Yeah. Which, look, I don't like Nazis. I fucking hate Nazis. But, like, I just wish that it was a little less black and white. Where it's like, because like there's at no point is the FBI like, man, I don't feel good about teaming up with these gangsters. They're just like, fuck no, man.
Guns are guns. Those are Nazis over there. They're the
Well, I remember
enemy of
seeing,
my enemy is my friend.
I saw a TikTok about a Marvel DC crossover where the villains team up and they put Joker and the Red Skull together.
Yeah.
And the Joker is just like knocks the Red Skull out. He's like, I might be insane, but I'm still an American. The exact same fucking thing.
I got real heavy. It's funny that we talk about the Nazis and stuff. I got real Raiders of the Lost Ark vibes from this movie. And I also got real Captain America vibes from this movie. And it's funny that I say that because I didn't know until just now that the guy that directed this movie directed Captain America, the First Avenger, and was one of the
He got a
visual
lot better.
effects artists on Raiders of the Lost Ark. So,
Well, like
So
the
it
that's
was
his
like
thing.
it's his wheelhouse
Yeah.
apparently, and I got those feelings while I was watching this movie. I was like, guys, this sort of feels a little like Captain
Well, yeah.
America and the Raiders of the Lost Ark with all the Nazis and the
fucking
craziness.
the Nazi dude on the blimp is like, I was like, that's like knockoff Raiders of the Lost Ark Nazi.
Yeah.
Like he looks kind of like him, like
Yeah.
with the glasses and the hat. And
The
all
one that was yelling
Yeah.
at Timothy Dalton
to a place's order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my best
Place's
pilot.
order, yeah.
Smash out the window.
And talking about the Nazi stuff in the time period, when I was watching this, I was like, you know what would make this movie a lot better for me is Hellboy. This would make a great like Hellboy fucking crossover.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
I mean, totally. As a comic book thing, I mean, there's so many things where it's like, yeah, this could work.
Well, and as many times as I've seen like the costume that the Rocketeer wears, because they marketed the fuck out of
That's
this
a great
movie.
jacket.
did.
It's a
fucking-
great
it is a
jacket,
great
and
jacket.
I really like the helmet.
just like Captain America's leather jacket.
Yeah,
and, like
it's got that button-up like front shield kind of thing. I love the helmet. I
Yeah.
love the way it looks. I love the fact it never occurred to me that the helmet was the
the
way
rudder.
to steer
Yep.
the thing. I mean, I thought that was neat. I thought there was a lot of really neat things about this movie, and I feel like I kind of missed out. You know, I didn't like
It had a lot of
get
big,
on
big
the hype
talent,
train.
Yeah,
It was very heavily marketed. I mean,
I remember wanting to see it so badly as a kid, but
Yeah.
you know, my parents, unless it was Captain Ron or Hook or The Mask, we didn't see it.
I feel like your
So-
parents would have supported going to see The Rocketeer if they didn't
Yeah.
known how, you know,
how
wholesome
American
it was. Yeah, how wholesome and American it was.
It's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie. It's just a little too wholesome for me.
At one
And the
point,
soundtrack
Yeah.
is just very much like,
it's the same little ditty over and over.
well, and it's so like everything is so like
if I asked,
grandiose. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like holy shit, like they're really hammering home like everything. everything about this movie outside of the tit joke is like, man, this is fucking family movie, the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like a satire of family movies from
Somebody's
that
going
period.
to visit their parents on a Christmas tree farm and stay.
Yeah, it is. It's like borderline Hallmark. It really is. Like, I'll be Rocketeer for Christmas. Yeah.
I thought it was funny that at one point Timothy Dalton speaks English with a German accent, like he'd been faking his English accent the whole
Right.
time.
It
But then
wasn't
he
lies, it was
immediately,
acting.
but then he immediately
Goes
falls back into his English accent.
He's that good.
He's just that good.
You see.
Acting, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I liked how like one of the biggest tropes in a movie that takes place in like the 40s and 50s, mostly the 40s, like wartime era of, how the land on the Hollywood sign, the Hollywood sign used to say Hollywood land.
Right.
And then land, I don't know how it actually got removed, but I've seen so many movies where, the thing in this movie is what caused the land part to fall off the Hollywood sign.
Right.
And this was the Timothy Dalton Nazi crashing into it while wearing the jetpack.
And then it loses the D in BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Hollywood.
God, BoJack's so fucking good.
It's really good.
So, I think we've covered the movie pretty well. What else we got on the movie? Anything?
No, that's about it for the
I'm going to give
movie.
it 3 stars.
It was.
Wisdom says check it out. I think it's fun. Watch it with your kids. They might like it. I mean, today's kids probably will think it's dumb.
I was
If
close.
your kid's young enough,
The
they
plane
might
stuff,
dig it.
Henry would have gone nuts over. Like the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
he would have gone nuts over. But I feel like, he would have fallen off.
It's all right. I liked it. I had a good time with it. I wouldn't turn it off if it was on TV. I think it's pretty cool. I did have to watch it on Disney Plus, which has commercials on my plan, which sucks.
I was relieved that I could watch it on Disney Plus. I was concerned. I was like, how come I'm going to have to rent
I thought I was
The
gonna have to
Rocketeer?
buy
I
it
rented
too.
it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
As
But-
I tend to do because I do it while I'm doing paperwork at work.
Yeah. If I were multitasking, I might like this movie better. Just to throw that out there. You know what
It's
I
a
mean?
good to have
but
on
I
in
was
the
sitting there
background.
like, all right, I'm going to do this for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I did today. Actually, is it was on in the background.
And I'm not saying that, that makes a difference for you, but it would have made a difference for me because it is one of those movies for me where I got done and I was like, well, okay.
Yeah,
And it went 2 hours. I could have done literally anything else. But then I played the game and I was like, oh boy.
Bring it to life.
fuck.
I don't.
I gave up. I didn't make it past the first level.
I did.
I couldn't
Boy.
figure out the plane thing. I couldn't do it.
I
it
only
drove me
knew what to
crazy.
do because of the Angry Video Game Nerd, because he said the same thing. He died over and over and over again until he realized, oh, you have to watch the mini map at the bottom, the tiny, shitty, pixelated screen that steers you straight, so then you can win. Because if you try to watch going around in a circle, you're just gonna fucking lose. It's
So-
impossible.
And I don't know. I'm not a fucking god gamer or anything, but that fucking screen at the bottom is so small
Oh, it's
and
awful.
worthless. I didn't look at it at all. I had a really hard time with the beginning of this game. And then
So the first 2 levels of the game, you're in the airplane from the beginning of the movie.
and then you do it
GB.
again later.
and you fly around in a circle in the race to win the race.
There's 3 turns.
Which
There-
doesn't ever happen in the movie because he literally crashes that plane in the first scene of that movie.
And there are
but
really
whatever.
only 5 levels in this game. So if you're going
Right.
to take 5 scenes from this movie,
Well, I think
why
the-
is this one of them?
I
Right.
think the game
Yeah.
was riding on the coattails of the movie, but I think the game was based more on the comic. And
Because
then-
it did have cutscenes from the comic.
Yeah.
And that is a good thing. That is in my good thing column is that this game had really cool looking cutscenes because they were I haven't read the comic, but it looked like they were taken straight from the comic book.
Yeah, they
And I
do.
thought that was really neat.
But the only thing that kind of weirded me out was the fact that the guy, his buddy, the mechanic, that was played by Alan Arkin.
Doesn't look like Alan Arkin.
He looks like Stan Lee.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over the fact that this guy looked just in the
True
game
believer.
looked just like Stan Lee. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I like that. That's probably truly the only thing I liked about the game. That race in the beginning is one of those where it's like an Atari game. Like no shit. Like it is no shit like an Atari game because it's a race where there are 3 turns. You have to go around 3 towers. And I didn't use that mini map. I just kind of was like, okay, you go by this tower and then you tap left. And then you go by that tower and you tap left. And then you go by that tower and tap left.
Because it's a circle.
Because it's a
You're
circle.
flying
You
in a
see.
circle.
And then if you
It's
get
like NASCAR. If it helps everyone, it's like NASCAR. It's
But in the
always turn
sky.
left, but in the sky.
if you get too close to the ground, you press down. I felt like it got a lot easier for me once I realized that it was a super simple thing that they were trying to make look very complicated. Because it looks complicated. Because these fucking sprites are like Donkey Kong Country style, like pre-3D rendered.
And it didn't
Which is
look
weird.
terrible. It looked kind of strange, but I didn't think
Very
it looked
strange,
like shit.
yeah. And then yes, to me it looked like that map at the bottom looked to me like that's the game that they wanted to make.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They're like, wouldn't it be cool if it was like the camera was like behind the plane and you're like flying on this 3D course? And they're like, yeah, it would. Can we do it? Well, we can do it, but it has to be 100 pixels wide.
And they're like, wait, what if we did the next scene, the next part of the game, behind the guy shooting like a shooting gallery style?
Right.
Because it's another one of those games that feels like a compilation of mini games. Because
Yeah.
every level is a completely different genre done so shittily. So from racing flyer to gallery
Shooting
shooter
gallery, yep.
to side-scrolling shooter.
You
the
go,
levels
you go
are
back to the
long.
racing. That made me mad because it was like you
Yeah,
do
'cause
the,
then
you
you
do
gotta
the
be
race in the
Rocketeer.
plane, then you're in the hangar with the shooting gallery, which is like compared to the racing, it's laughably like what the fuck? This is like I got through this so fucking fast. They throw power ups at you, and it's like it's like okay, whatever. This is weird, and then you race with the jetpack on, and it's the same fucking race you just did in the plane. It's
Except you
exactly
go a
the
lot
same.
faster. Don't
Do
you?
I don't know, man. To me, it was hard to tell because the opponents, if you're going faster, they are also going faster.
In the movie where it showed the cartoon, like, well, somebody died to get this footage out of Germany. And it's
Many Bothan spies.
it's Nazis in Rocketeer jetpacks flying across the Atlantic Ocean.
I know.
Those things are
There's gotta be a
ridiculously
better
fuel
way.
I mean,
efficient.
you get a plane and they jump out. That use them like paratroopers.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah.
But not ballistic missiles.
You idiot! It's just an example. They aren't really flying across the ocean with the jetpacks. Stop being so fucking literal. We're the Germans.
It shows them flying across the ocean.
We are
it
the
does in that
Germans.
cartoon.
We're
He's
the
right.
literal ones.
I like that cartoon, by the way.
It was
Aside
cool.
from Jennifer Connelly, it's probably my second
It was
favorite.
very Pink Floyd The Wall.
Yeah, it was.
It had a lot
Yeah.
real that obvious kind of feel to it. It was cool.
Super fascist. Yeah.
Very. Then you go races the Rocketeer. Then don't you do like another,
You do another
shooting level, shooting gallery,
Shooting gallery level, yeah.
and then you do the one where you're flying a side-scrolling plane shooter kind of style.
Then you get to the part where I nope out because I'm like, this is incredibly boring.
This did straight up look
Incredibly.
like Pit Fighter for the Super Nintendo on the blimp.
Incredibly boring. Super boring. And it's so long. The
So
level is so
fucking long.
And it's like the game wants you to finish it because they're like, don't worry, you're going to get a 1-up every time you go through this. And it was like, fuck, just let me die. So I could like quit this game with a good conscience, where it's like, well, I put in my effort, but I ran out of lives. What am I going to do? But no, this fucking game is just like, no, dog, you got this.
Just keep going.
Don't worry, this level's only 10 minutes long.
Some of the level where you're flying through and shooting like side scrolling style, that one went on for fucking ever.
Yeah, that's the one I'm
Is that the one you're talking about? I thought you were talking about the blimp fight.
Because I didn't get to the blimp fight because eventually
okay.
I was just like, fuck this.
I was
and
watching a
turned it
long
off.
play of it and I kept skipping.
Yeah.
And skip and
It's-
skip and skip. I'm like, this is still going. I would
It's
go
so long.
insane playing this level.
It's so long and not fun. Like it really is. I mean, all the hits feel really cheap. I mean, it was one of those where it was like, holy shit, this is torturous to play.
Because well, then the final battle, the final boss fight is it is a fighting game. You've got the Rocketeer's health bar and then enemy health bar, and it is a straight up, looks like Pit Fighter / Mortal Kombat, where they're putting up their dukes on the wing of the blimp. And
Open wide
Timothy
for
Dalton
Chunky.
is on top of the blimp with Jennifer Connelly. He's throwing
Oh, she's in the
grenades in
game?
one spot.
Yep. She has a cameo.
Damn it! I
at the
should
end of the
have
game.
hung out.
Well, all you do is you fight and go the slowest, like Sub-Zero walking across the stage. You walk, beat enemy up, and then slowly walk across, avoiding the grenade till you can climb a set of stairs. And you fight again. You climb another set of stairs, and you fight Neville on the very tip top, which the Nazi symbol is censored. Now
It's
just
an
the
SS
lightning
symbol
bolts.
instead of the swastika.
And then you
That's
fight
tastefully done, I
him,
guess.
beat him up. The blimp starts to explode, and they come and get you, and that's it. But that last fighting game segment, holy fucking shit! I've seen few things that look shittier.
It was bad.
I mean, it was
really bad.
unbelievably bad. Like this is it. This is the finale. Like you're not even having anything to do with the rocket. You're fighting the shittiest fighting game I've ever seen.
Does he have a sword at least?
No, that would be cool. I'd be all for that. But no, it was just like, God damn, this is so bad.
Like when you beat it, it cuts to the little thing where, you know, the guy that has been holding the sign all along telling you what points you got in that level.
Yeah.
It gives you the option. It says next level or end here. And I guess next level means you play
start all over again?
from the beginning. Maybe, I don't know.
I love that they give you the option.
The long play that I saw didn't show what it did because he just went to end here. And then it's just like, it's like, congratulations, you saved Jennifer or Jessica or Jenny and also the free world.
Nice.
And that's it.
Sweet.
And then they run credits.
How long were the credits? I'm guessing not long.
Not as long as that fucking side-scrolling plane fight.
Homie, there ain't much that is.
Yeah, it was a bad game. Didn't like it.
It's super bad. Super bad. What did Brad send something in? I think you mentioned.
Oh, he
last
did.
episode.
Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Let me bring that.
Because I'm really curious to see what the reviewers at the time had to say about it.
I've had this email from Brad for 7 weeks now.
Game Pro's like, we loved it, and it's not just because we were paid to say that.
Let me blow it up a little bit. All right. Brad writes, sometimes, if you'll remember, he was talking a little bit in a previous email about kind of gooning over the We Fit trainer.
Oh, yeah.
The girl, the woman from We Fit.
Hell yeah.
She's no Henry Cavill, but okay.
She's no Idris Elba, but whatever. Sometimes Brad writes, sometimes the male We Fit trainer substitutes in for the female trainer, and he says, I hope you don't mind, but I'll be helping you with your training today. To which I say, I do fucking mind.
You're not my mom.
That's my purse. I don't know you. Also, Brad continues, specifically Tyler, what percentage of your job is actually doing chef shit, as in putting together a recipe and making stuff from scratch? I couldn't imagine.
1%.
I couldn't imagine that a
Pretty
kitchen pushing such high volumes would regularly make meals from scratch. I figured.
Oh, I thought you meant me personally. No, like
yeah,
we make a ton of
your
shit from
kitchen.
scratch because of medical diets and what has to be in it. Like all the processed prepackaged shit has too much salt, sugar, so almost everything is made from scratch.
He says, I figured hospitals would just be opening Sodexo or Airmark containers, heating them up and putting them out, and most of the management would be scheduling, ordering stuff, and generally making sure everything was going out okay. But Tyler sometimes mentions doing chef shit as his job. What's up with that? My impression of hospital food must be completely wrong.
Yep. That thing is, that's a 10-year-old model at least.
Okay.
Now it's cheaper to bring in stuff instead of having to buy specifically pre-packaged medical diet stuff. It's cheaper to buy whole food
It makes sense.
and make it.
From like a waste standpoint too, I would imagine you're going to waste a lot if you pre-order a bunch of stuff that patients aren't even going to. It's not going to fit
And
their
they
diets.
won't want, So, and that's hospital food gets a bad rap because so many people are diabetics or they're on cardiac diets, so we can't use a lot of salt, fat, and sugar.
Sure.
So yeah, hospital food gets a bad rap because it's bland. If you're on a regular diet, you can just add that shit on. You always get plenty of butter, sugar, and salt to put on your food and other seasonings on the side. But
Season to taste.
yeah, most everything and stuff like in our cafe that we can actually do right, it's good shit. Because
Okay.
I mean, but yeah, no, mostly it is, and just about every chef I have is a classically trained, tons of experience, like chef, and they choose to go into healthcare because it's like, oh, you want a Monday through Friday, you want a day shift, you want vacation, paid time off, benefits, 401k that you'll get in healthcare that you won't get in a restaurant. Classically trained chef, sure, come on.
Right. Sure.
I have a question also about hospital food.
Mm-hmm.
My wife had to go have a test done last week, and she was at your hospital
Mm-hmm.
and had to eat radioactive eggs. Do you make those?
What?
So she had to do what's called a swallow study, where she eats eggs that have been infused with some manner of radioactivity so they can track how fast it leaves her stomach.
That's a special order.
That's not my department. I have sent raw chicken breast so they can calibrate mammogram machines, but are also in molasses for enemas. But that's the only food I send out for medical procedures.
She ate scrambled eggs, toast, and had some coffee, I think, with it that they provided. And apparently the food was, I mean, it's not like, nuclear fallout waste. It's just, but it's like something that the scanner can see.
That's better than the barium milkshake I used to have to drink for that shit.
Yeah, it's something like that, except for, and this wasn't to like scan her like esophagus. It was her stomach to see how fast it empties. So they take they took a picture after she ate, and then she got to wander around for an hour, and they took another picture, and then another hour, and then another picture, and they would track how fast it left her stomach. So I thought maybe you guys made the radioactive eggs.
That's got to be something pre-packaged that they pop in the microwave, I imagine.
Okay.
And I've never heard of that before.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know.
Brad continues. The Rocketeer.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to know. Did she comment on how it tasted?
She didn't say.
Okay. So it must have been normal.
She doesn't eat in the morning because it just gets her kind of sick.
Sure.
And so she was complaining about how it made her sick, but not that it had or didn't have some sort of a
Don't worry,
taste.
ma'am. Just a little radiation.
A little radiation is fine once
As a
in a
treat.
while as a treat. The Rocketeer. We got to go to EGM for this, for the May 1992 issue. Sushi X,
Sushi X.
the only EGM reviewer who mattered, is the reviewer at the bottom. Super NES IGS, The Rocketeer. Theme action, available May. Number of levels, 8. Megabits, also 8. The Rocketeer is flying its way into your home for the Super. The Rocketeer is flying its way into your home for the Super NES. IGS has spared no expense in making the Rocketeer look and feel as exciting as the movie it's based on. You control Cliff on a mission to stop a terrorist organization from stealing a rocket pack. There's a lot of exclamation points in here.
Yeah.
But to top it off, the terrorists have also kidnapped Jennifer. You must rescue Jennifer and put a stop to these terrorists. The Rocketeer will arrive in May. The review continues.
We were not paid to do this.
The review continues. The game looks great, but when you pull it apart to look at the game, so there's a big red 4 over this section, and then the next section there's a big red 6. I'm assuming these are scores, but it's hard to read the words because of the big red letter numbers in it.
Those are scores.
There isn't much left. The first sections in particular are drawn well, but the action is really confined to a small segment of the play area. There is some nice graphics, but the action never really manages to hit big. I have to give IGS credit for creating some innovative and exciting graphics. The gameplay, on the other hand, is only a bit better than average. I had problems in learning the controls, and this led to frustration later on in the game. Once learned, though, the game was decent. It's better than the average, but not spectacular. The Rocketeer is a game that will have to rely on the title to sell. While there are a bunch of different sections in the game, there's just not that much in the way of gameplay. Despite the nice graphics, the cart is boring and way too short. I did like the stills in between the rounds, however.
Best part of the game.
Yeah. Let's face it, it's hard to translate a comic book to a movie to a video game and still come out with the same intensity and excitement as when you started. The Rocketeer lacks control, but the graphics are excellent. While the music is good, the fun factor quickly drops to boring. This is a good game, but the comic is better. That's the review from EGM. I think we were on the level with that review to some extent. I wouldn't call the graphics excellent, personally, but whatever.
IGS, I had to look it up. It's mentioned in that review.
Yeah.
Not very familiar with IGS from a video game standpoint or an anything standpoint. That is Information Global Service.
It sounds like Martin Blank's company from Grosse Point Blank. Global Trident.
Yeah.
Something. I can't ever remember what it's called. Brad continues, Major League is a fantastic movie, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. Later, Brad
Hell
from
yeah.
Arizona. Thank you, Brad. That
See
was a
you,
great
Brad.
email. Sorry it took me 17 weeks to get to it. Okay.
It was developed by Nova Logic, another company that I haven't really heard of, which is weird considering this is a Super Nintendo podcast. I don't know. Looks like they were bought by THQ Nordic, which I have heard of. They're pretty famous. They did a bunch of ports, like for DOS, Bubble Bobble, Arkanoid, that kind of stuff. And then they made the Rocketeer. What do you think the Rocketeer for the Super Nintendo goes for if you were to buy it in a plastic format to put into another plastic thing? The Rocketeer by THQ Nordic.
$18.
$18 from Ian. What do you think, Tyler?
$10.
$10 from Tyler. Actual retail value of the Rocketeer for the Super Nintendo, loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com at the time of this recording, is $9.01.
Tyler by 99 cents.
Guys have any achievements? Doing things way out of order.
Oh, I have some, yes.
What
Go
you got?
for it.
Okay. My first achievement is Planeteer. To get Planeteer, you win the plane races. My next achievement is Gun-Eteer. To get Gun-Eteer, you beat the shooting gallery levels without dying.
Okay.
My third achievement is Rocket Ears. Rocket Ears is listen for the cries from the past of the people who paid full price for this game. My next achievement is Rocket Tears. Collect the tears you shed from playing this game in glass jars like Howard Hughes used to collect his own piss.
It's going for a lot now.
My final achievement is Oh the Humanity. Beat the you fight on top of a blimp level, resulting in the Nazi blimp crashing and you apparently saving the girl, and also, as a side note, the free world.
Nice. My first achievement, which I just came up with right now based on your achievements, is the Musketeer, and that is play the Rocketeer for so long that you forget to shower, and then the room is filled with your musky gamer odor.
Like the basement of Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next achievement is Otis Bigelow, male gigolo. In order to unlock Otis Bigelow, male gigolo, Otis Bigelow is a man in the movie who gets folded in half.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the guy who I figured was named Mickey.
The guy who they were like, can we get Danny DeVito for this movie? And they're like, nope. And they're like, okay. In order to unlock Otis Bigelow, male gigolo, play the Rocketeer with any older person for money. Oh. Doesn't matter.
Nice.
Just have to be an older person. Next achievement is 2 trailer park girls go round the outside. In order to unlock 2 trailer park girls go round the outside. Beat the red and blue plane in a race.
Nice.
My last achievement is Lothar of the Hill People. In order to unlock Lothar of the Hill People. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. In order to unlock that, you have trouble walking with a woman after a long day of playing the Rocketeer.
I had 3. First one, duck, 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 duck. You lose. And that is fly the plane level and then finally lose after you just circle and circle and circle.
I hit that tower so many fucking times. So frustrating.
Next one, worst timeline, Wild Guns. Make it to the shooting gallery level.
I was hoping Wild Guns would make it into this episode somehow.
And then my final one, Hindenburg 2 Electric Boogaloo, beat the game.
All right. Good achievements, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
What do you guys think Flopsy had to say about the Rocketeer?
Oh.
This has to be.
It's an early boy, 1992.
It is an early boy. I'm going to say 2.5 stars, uncommon.
2.5 uncommon.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 star,
Okay.
common.
I'm on that 1 star tip. I know Flopsy is very generous, but
It is pretty generous.
Good Lord. It's been a minute since I played one this bad.
Place your bets, everyone. I'm about to win this one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go 1 star. I'll say, man, I know the price is $9.01, so it's kind of tough to be like uncommon. So I think common is right. And it's a movie tie-in. Yeah. So I hate to I got to give you the same exact answer. It's a 1 star common for me too.
Get on my giddy up, son. Hit you
According
up.
to Flopsy, a.k.a. the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library, 1991 through 1998 by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mold, Mike, and a shadowy, mysterious benefactor.
Featuring California emissions.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Rocketeer is a common game.
Okay.
The rating, 1 8.5
Oh, nice.
stars.
Y'all shouldn't have bet on me.
the same review score as the game right next to it, Rocco's Modern Life, Spunky's Dangerous Day, which
I
is a
would rather
better
play
video
that.
game than the Rocketeer. The Rocketeer is so bad. It's so bad.
Not a
Rocco
good
is
game.
playable, just not fun.
And Rocco, I don't know. I mean, I could, yeah, it was okay. It was all right.
I
didn't
don't
love
think
it.
I don't think
I
it was
didn't love
1.5
Rocco,
bad.
But
since
1.5
I
star
played
kind of hurts my
worse.
feelings a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a 2-star at least, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, notoriously generous Flopsy. Rocco's Modern Life, 1.5 stars. The reflections on this: I wasn't a big fan of The Rocketeer when it was released in theaters back in 1991. My dislike for the film didn't stop me from renting the NES version of the game, though. We didn't play that one. Maybe I should have checked that one out. That one is actually fun, says MV from Flopsy. And I enjoy it immensely. I was expecting the SNES version to be more of the same, but with improved sound and visuals. But this is horrible. It took me a few hours just to win the airplane race, and that can be considered the first level of the game. I'm glad this review is over, says the reviewer.
Damn, he should come on our show.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going back to my NES version.
Okay.
Thank you, MV from
Kind of
Fox.
wish I had thought to try the NES version just for fun.
Yeah, I wish I'd have tried it.
It's part of Angry Video Game Nerd's reviews, which he didn't talk glowingly about it. He did say it's better, but it looked more like what I would expect a Rocketeer game to be.
Is it like an action platformer kind of thing?
Where you can float and
fly?
fly. And
Yeah, that's totally what I would
That's
expect.
what I was.
I mean, that's what I
was
want.
expecting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I've enjoyed talking with you boys about The Rocketeer more than I enjoyed consuming the media surrounding it. If you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
Oh, it's got to be Hitler's mustache.
Hitler's
100% Hitler's fucking mustache.
Okay. That makes sense. There's a rudder on it that he can use to control when he's flying.
He uses it for how he controls his walking.
The Hitler's here, yeah.
It's fitting. Do you remember when the Rocketeer committed genocide? I do. If you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what kind of glasses would you give it?
Joseph Goebbels glasses.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
So yeah, Hitler and Goebbels. The Rocketeer.
Okay. All right.
Just like the marketing for this game, a work of Joseph Goebbels.
All right.
Well, do you guys want to do a movie game next week? We want to go ahead and
Of course.
draw for that?
Of course.
All right. If you guys want to fill the space for a second while I bring this up. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Truncate silence is probably going to get that. But we
Yeah.
waited a really long, uncomfortable pause in case you didn't hear that. Tyler's rolling
Roll a 1.
the dice.
So the next game that we
Failed.
haven't done, which I believe is Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
All right.
Want to do that, or did we want to push that to
Christmas?
closer to Christmas?
That's a better idea. You're right. Let's go to the next one after that, which would be...
Is this going to be that Snow White game?
No, it is Outlander.
Outlander. Wait, just a goddamn minute. This is a movie I haven't seen, I don't think.
Outlander. It's a movie I haven't heard of.
There's a show called Outlander on the Stars Network, I think,
Stars.
but it's not that. Outlander. Let's do a search for Outlander space movie. Oh, this is Jim Caviezel, isn't it? Let's see. Yes, this is Jim Caviezel. Jack Houston. 2008 action film written and directed by Howard McCain, starring Jim Caviezel, Sophia Myles, Jack Huston, John Hurt, and Ron Perlman. Speaking
What
of
year?
Hellboy,
Yeah.
Ron Perlman's in this.
Yeah, Ron Perlman is Hellboy. Like there's
The plot is loosely based on the Anglo-Saxon epic poem Beowulf. I have seen this.
What year did it come out?
2008.
That can't be
That
it.
can't be it.
Nope. When I looked
forgot this
I
was a
looked up
Super
the movie.
NES.
When I look up the video game, let me pull up the video game by the '92 game by Mindscape.
Oh, Mindscape.
There's a 1981 science fiction thriller film called Outland. That's not it.
Okay, this is kind of a weird. All right, this is weird. This barely qualifies as a movie game. So, Tyler reads from Wikipedia. Outlander is an action-driving video game with a post-apocalyptic theme. Published by Mindscape in 92 for Mega Drive Genesis, 93 for Nintendo. Originally developed under the title The Road Warrior for the film of the same name. However,
didn't get
Mindscape
the
lost the
license.
rights to the license
All right.
and changed the
All
game's
right.
title to Outlander.
Well, we're watching the Road Warrior.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, by the way, I watched Furiosa.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that I
Yeah,
watched
you didn't mention
Furiosa. 4 stars.
Really?
Boom.
Really? I'm glad to
George
hear that.
Miller. I love George Miller. I
Yeah.
love all that shit. I loved Furiosa for a lot different reasons than I liked Fury Road, but I did love Furiosa.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Check it out. Wisdom Station, check it out. We're going to watch The Road
So
Warrior,
this is
everybody.
the Road Warrior, the game.
Okay.
Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. I am excited. One of my all-time favorite movies. That is awesome.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Find the show on iTunes, not SoundCloud, not Stitcher, but on Spotify, YouTube, all over the goddamn place. So much shit going on, but most importantly, we got that Patreon.
Money, please. Patreon.com/TADPOG. Give us money. We like money. You like to give us money. We like money. You like to give us money. Give us money now.
Obey me, Wario.
For as little as $1 a month, you have access to all of our Patreon bonus content. We've got the Dark Tower Book Club review out there. Some awesome actual plays crafted and run by Tyler. Some one of the episodes, some nerd tells sex stories for money. It's fun. It's good content, and we do try to update that fairly often. And so you get a pretty good value for your $1. But if you want to be really generous, like our executive producers, and have that title given to you as well, you can do that by donating $20 or more. And I'm going to read you a list right now of the executive producers of our show. Cubicle Monkey, Gamebug Prime, Nathan Eaton, Pinball Airplane Archmage, Chris Edler. Sorry you couldn't be on this episode. Derek Pope Sandwich, Enthusiast Jeff Miners. Congratulations on your marriage. Drinksmith Joey Webster, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Louisville Correspondent, Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, / Robin Williams Lover, Canadian Turbo Nerd Thomas. Thank you all so much for your generosity. Not just our executive producers, but all of our donors. It means a lot to us that you would give us your hard-earned money in such a strangely bad economy. It just doesn't seem to be getting any better. So it means more every month that we have that from you. And also thanks to Dane putting our show up on YouTube. And once again, thanks to Brad from Arizona for writing us an email about the Rocketeer.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
Our theme song is moved by Seymour Drive. Leave that track from the show at TADPOG.com. Hey, boys, going to close it out.
As a 1940s FBI agent.
So until next time, drop a
Capricorn.
Get the girl.
And your shenanigans.
Biden's going to be spitting bullets.
See?
Spitting his ice cream all
See?
over the place.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler. New episodes publish Wednesdays each week and are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you absolutely must send us a food item, please use caution and good judgment when doing so. Tasty snacks that look or smell funky or are past their expiration date by the time we get to them will be thrown away. Bonus content is available at patreon.com/tadpog with a minimum donation of $1 per month. You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpogdiscord. Registration is free and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode. Now, where did I put that stinger? Oh, here it is. But it's fine now. I mean, I was just frustrated. You know, the guy did come down and he did bring me the title. I mean, he did do stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't being a dick and not trying.
Right.
But he was also being kind of a dick. So I was just like, I don't want to go to the courthouse again. You know, I just want to get this done.
Yeah, I guess that's got to be like a big pitfall of buying cars in Indiana and selling them in Kentucky, you know? Like,
yeah, and I mean, the good news is the truck was already registered in Kentucky.
that is good.
So I didn't have to have it inspected because, oh boy, if I'd have had to have it inspected, I don't know if it'd have passed.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have, but it's
What
not
do they look for in inspections like that?
Well, they're really just checking to make sure, like, in Kentucky,
It's not an emissions thing.
no.
Yeah, my Marshall County inspection was like left blinker,
Yeah,
right blinker.
that's what they do.
Got that seatbelt. Thanks.
That's pretty much it. So I think it would have been fine. But I haven't had to have a car, you know, inspected in decades. I mean, I bought one car that wasn't registered in Kentucky once.
Yeah.
And had to have it inspected. And I mean, the guy, I guess maybe I had a guy, you know, that day that was just like, I pulled the bad
You
the
got
pain in
badge
the ass
off.
cop,
Yeah.
you know, that wanted to do
Yeah.
every little thing. Maybe he probably just looked at me and didn't like my face or something. You know? But anyway, I didn't know if they did had started doing like emissions tests or whatever, which I don't think they do.
I don't think
I still
so.
don't think they do. So because I think it's probably pretty common for people to just cut their catalytic converters off to gain horsepower.
Really?
And by doing that, you would fail an emissions test instantly. But I do think they check to see if you have a catalytic converter. So, and it does. I mean, the truck has those, surprisingly. I mean, you wouldn't think that it would.
What does that do?
So, a catalytic converter
Contains platinum. That's all I know.
Is it?
That's correct. It has. So, a catalytic converter is basically just a little bit wider than your exhaust sort of tube.
It's that thing. I know what you're
It's
talking
the wider
about.
part of your
Yeah.
exhaust that you've seen as your cat.
That's the catalytic
catalytic converter. Inside of it is like a really fine honeycomb of platinum, and platinum has the ability to catch certain emissions, certain hydrocarbons and shit, and it just catches it and it gets burned up eventually, but it doesn't go into the atmosphere. And it doesn't really hurt performance usually because, catalytic converters have come a long way. But a lot of people will cut them out to A, steal the platinum on the inside, and B, gearheads, especially a lot of the truck gearheads around here in this part of the country, will cut them out so that the exhaust flow is unimpeded, so the truck can go faster. But that's what it does. Vehicles like mine will have two. So there's two, like with a V8 engine, you've got pipe coming off each side.
Uh-huh.
And in mine, it converges into one, but a lot of times it'll be two separate pipes. But at the top, there'll be two catalytic converters, one on each side. And I looked under mine, and they're both there. So
hey, free platinum.
free platinum. I'm going to cut them out. I'll be rich, I tell you. There's like $13 worth of platinum in there. I'll have enough money to buy that other truck that I want.
Yeah.
I did everything possible to avoid that emissions test in DC when I lived there.
Oh,
Because I know, like,
they're bad. They'll
Blake
do
and
it.
everyone who had to do it were like, that was fucking awful. Trying to get through the DMV in Washington, D.C., and then do the emissions test, all that shit. So, like, my mom pulled some favors with the courthouse to, like, use my same picture and mail me my sticker and license and shit so I could keep my Kentucky stuff and just not fuck with it.
Yeah, L.A., California is real strict about emissions. Like, if you ever remember, I don't know if they still do it, but if you ever remember on the old Price is Right, when they would give away a car, they would name off all the package features, like an AM/FM radio and a cruise control and California emissions. They would always say California emissions, meaning that it was up to code. Because apparently California is the worst as far as like having to have the correct correct stuff. So if you're
liberals,
damn liberals, or climate change isn't real, y'all. They'll if your car's good in California, I think it's good pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, that would make sense. I would hope so.
Yeah,
Because I've always heard they're the strictest.
Yeah.
I mean, there are like TV episodes about that.
yeah, there are.
So
I've been recording that whole time, so if you want me to put for the stinger stuff about catalytic converters,
hell yeah.
I'll do it.
Oh,